Hey everybody, this is Mr. Pyers. I'm going to do a little walkthrough on one-point perspective drawing. What we'll need today is a pencil, a ruler, some drawing paper, and an eraser. We're going to find a dot in the center of the paper, as near as the center as you can, and across that dot, draw a horizontal line. I'm going to enhance that dot so we can really see it. That's going to be our vanishing point. And we're going to draw a bunch of different types of shapes. It's really going to be up to you the ones you want to pick, but we're going to start simple. I included a list of shapes if you need some help. But right now I'm drawing a square. This is below the line I'm doing. Over here I'm going to draw a triangle. Again, let's start with some simple shapes like triangles and squares just to get started, and then you can always do more enhancements. If you have a template, um, for circles, I have one right here for a circle, but if not, you can take a different object, or I have uploaded a chart of different circles that you could trace on your off your computer screen if you'd like. Right here I drew like the letter L, but now I'm going to create a 3D version of it, or a block letter. I'm not really 3D, a block letter version of it. That's what I mean. So if you want to do a block letter, that's fine. Those are above the line. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to make these 3D with convergence lines. On this triangle, I have two edges that can go and connect directly back to that vanishing point. So these convergence lines line up between the point and those edges. Now, this isn't 3D yet, but you can see how it shoots back in space there. I have an angle there to the triangle that I want to match up anywhere on that road I created. I'm going to go to about right there. Going parallel with it, I'm going to make another parallel line somewhere in that sequence, and I'm going to enhance that. Now we have this 3D type of triangular block, almost ramp-like. I'm going to lightly erase those lines. I don't need them anymore, but I don't need to perfectly erase them. Now on the square, I'm going to bring back every edge of the square that can conceivably go back. And I'm going to take this square, I'm going to turn it into a cube. I'm going to look at that angle. I'm going to roll that back to where I want to finish this shape. Again, a parallel line there. And that top of that parallel line I created is going to line up to help you create the top of the box. So I'm using the ruler to guide me. There you go. And there's my 3D box. Slow down this video whenever you need to see how the process is done in a slower step-by-step. And there's my 3D box. Again, this box could have been anywhere, but I put it there, and that's how it would look from that point of view. I'm also going to draw another circle here. Reason is we're going to talk about the difference between drawing a cylinder and a sphere. That's a little later. On the L, I'm going to find the edges that can go back. And I found these three edges. The ones on the other side would be hidden, so I don't bring those back. I'm going to make this look like a block letter. I'm going to make a mark. Tell me how deep I want the 3D letter to be. And again, having a transparent ruler is nice so I can see through and keep my parallels. I like to visualize how it's all going to look. I'm going to glide that down. I'm going to connect there and do a parallel line back to that. And there's my 3D letter L. Lightly erasing helps you see that look like it's floating up in the air. Okay, next job is I have a circle. Well, a circle doesn't have sides like the other shapes do, but it has, well, it does, and it just keeps rotating. But we can use the outer left and the outer right edge right there, connect that back to the vanishing point, and do the same thing there. This is going to be used to create something called a cylinder, which is like what a Pringles container is, or a wheel, something round like that. The hard part here is it's not a straight line. So I'm going to take the curve of that side of the circle and I'm going to mimic it inside of there. Again, using some practice by bending with the line of the existing circle will help you understand how the shape of that needs to be done. And there's my cylinder. That takes a little bit of practice to get that curve right, but it's very satisfying when you get it there. Now this circle is going to turn into something called a sphere or a ball. And the way you do that is shading. I think we talked about this last time. So I'm just going to do a loose shaded sphere right here, just to help you understand the concept of how light affects the three-dimensionality of some things. So there's no going back to the perspective vanishing point. This is all about shading an object here. We'll talk more about shading in a later class. To do some enhancements, I can cut into some of my basic shapes. So I'm going to create like a tunnel here. So I'm going to, in the front, I'm going to draw this, and I'm going to erase the bottom. Now I have an open shape. But it gives me a little dilemma here. I have a new edge that can go back to the vanishing point. It just stops right there instead of going through. Now I have a 3D shape. There's also this little side that might exist right there. Now that's open. Again, these are more enhanced challenges for you to do once you get a really good grip of the 1-point perspective. You can start modding up your subject matter. Even a smaller circle in here will look like it's an open form, like an open roll of something. I might even just shade in it a little bit to help the three-dimensional effect there. Today's objective is about creating 3D forms that start simple and then maybe get more complex by you cutting into them is a great idea. So right there, it's almost like the letter A in front. And again, I have an edge that can now go back in space there. Exploring this concept will make sure that you really understand it well, and it allows you to enhance your drawing abilities on so many things. I'm going to draw like a 2-stacked brick block here. Again, drawing it facing me. And now I'm going to take every edge that can go back, conceivably, to that vanishing point. I'm going to make a point where I want it to end, again, a parallel line. I'm going to look at that distance. I can even use my ruler to judge that distance. And I'm going to make a mark so the block underneath it is the same distance as well. And again, I'll just enhance those lines so you guys can see the 3D blocks I created there. This is all leading up to what we're going to do for an eventual assignment. We're going to have a lot of fun and play with that. And here's just me cutting into some more information there. So please start with some simple shapes and do some more complex ones. You might have to do this on several pieces of paper instead of just one, so you can have some room to play. But work on the smaller scale like I am here, and have at it. Good luck, everybody.